When have you heard someone hilariously mess up an insult? When I was around 7, I was having dinner with my family and my older brother and I were exchanging insults as brothers often do. At one point he calls me a P, and without thinking, I respond, yeah well at least I've got one. Even my parents were laughing at me and I still cringe to this day when I think of it. Romanian co-worker at a company I worked at in college had some mistranslated gems. The best ones were, he is telling us this and that, but it really more like pulling a donkey out of the fog. The software department claims to have bugs. Where do they creep in from? The moon. This is as stupid as the duck with fingers. Something similar. We were playing pickup basketball and a kid shot an air ball, so the kid defending him started sarcastically clapping. The kid who shot the air ball replied, "Do you like the sound of your balls clapping against my chin?" I laughed so hard I cried. More of a failed pickup line. A friend just learned the line, "How much does a polar bear weigh?" Enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm insert name here. It's a cute line. Except when he tried it on a girl and said, "How much do you weigh?" Enough to break the ice. I want to believe. Had a Latino boss who spoke English as a second language. He would routinely use these two in meetings. Well, fine. But when push comes to shovel, they were so scared, they were sweating boots. Those sound like things Ricky from Trailer Park Boys would say. I wear 2 hearing aids and used to get teased in middle school. I would complain about this to my parents and they told me to tell them. I may wear hearing aids but I'm not stupid. So armed with this new ammo, I waited for the perfect moment to use it. Finally one kid said something mean and I shot back, "Yay, well I may be stupid but," and trailed off. They all laughed at me once again. Total fail. I may have AIDS, but at least I'm stupid. Mine in middle school. What I said, "I'm going to frick you so hard even your mother won't recognize you." What I should have said, "I'm going to frick you up so hard even your mother won't recognize you." Glad that no one remembers that one. He probably ran away with his hands over his butt. I'm not sure if this is the same, but my brother and I were saying "that's what she said to everything" while in the car with my mom. My mom tried, but didn't understand the sexual innuendos of it. So then later that day we were eating giant burritos and I said, "I don't think I can fit it in my mouth." Daddy says it's too big, and my mom yells, "That's what I said." Needless to say, my brother and I cracked up while my mom sat there wondering if she had said the joke in the right context. She clearly had. One time while living in the dorm with my buddies, I took his turn and COD, to which he yelled, "You can suck your own dong tonight." No wonder my floor mates thought we were different. We'll see who's the F when I shove my dong up your butt. In high school we were pee off our teacher, so he started to yell at us. He tried saying that we had to start behaving or the crap's gonna hit the fan. Instead he shouted at us, "I'm going to crap a fan." Whole class laughed until the class was over. It didn't hit me until many years later, but dang, I feel sorry for all the teachers that had to put up with my class. Being a middle school teacher must be one of the most thankless jobs ever. Very similarly, while starting a game of Halo 2, my friend, in a very intense voice, advised us that we're going to totally deep throat these guys. My ex-roommate used to yell at people playing Halo that he wanted to suck their dong and other backward profanities. At first it was an accident, but we soon realized that people were surprised and speechless to his offering of fellatio. I was attempting to say something to my friend at 3 AM while almost passing out and it came out as, "Shut up Greg. You like vagina in your face." He responded with a, "Yeah, I do." Many laughs were had. You vagina. Just last week I had an employee in my office to have a discussion. This person tends to display slightly germophobic habits, which he denies. For some reason we got on the topic of him being a germphobe and he stated that this was not so. He then said, reaching towards my door handle, "What do you want me to do to prove that I am not a germphobe? Lick your knob." I started laughing immediately. He got a look of confusion on his face for about 10 seconds, at which point realization of what he said happened and he turned cherry red. Now whenever he busts someone's balls, I ask him, "What are you going to do? Lick his knob?" We were joking with my friend and he got really angry and picked up 2 screwdrivers and said, "When you wake up, you're not gonna wake up." Me and my brother were going at it and he says I'm going to rape you. This was a while ago. And I say that's kinda gay. And he responds with you're gay for not letting me do it. Well, you guys were already going at it. A friend of mine was yelling at her BF on the phone while the rest of us sat there awkwardly trying not to listen. In the middle of the conversation she yells, "Jimmy, I swear to God I will freak your face," and hung up on him. It was silent for a second and we all looked at each other and started cracking up. Finally she goes, "What in the frick did I even just say? Haha, still funny every time I think about it." Not exactly what OP asked for, but relevant. My friends and I were talking about how it sucks that when we gain weight, we get it in the gut, and it hides our abs. So, naturally, we began talking about where else we would rather have fat build up, and my friend exclaims, "Yeah, I'd totally take it in the butt." To be honest, the conversation was pretty gay to begin with. I was about 19 when I did this. I was working at a produce delivery company at the time. We had a certain butthole chef that I had to deal with every day on my route. Well, one night, guess who arrives at my house to deliver my Domino's pizza? I was so tickled that I finally could get this guy back and give him a quarter for a tip. The next morning when I clocked in at 4 AM, I couldn't wait to tell all the guys about it. How I said it was, "Hey guys, guess what? I totally put it in Alan's butt last night." Why I worded it like that, I have no idea. Hey, it was 4 AM. I'm still close friends with some of those former co-workers. So of course, that story is still retold around the campfire. I got into an argument with a friend of mine. It started to get heated and he tried to threaten violence. Instead of saying, "I'm going to knock you out," he said, "I'm going to knock you up. The side of your head." Zinger. I have heard myself mess this one up. After a zinger, I make a stupid reply. They countered with "nice comeback," which is the phrase I was fishing for. I had the perfect one-liner, so I all smugly retort if I wanted a comeback, I'd scrape the roof off my mouth. No, your mouth spontaneously combusts from turning so red. I don't think you should argue with people. Over the weekend, me and some friends were playing Mario Party. One friend in particular was doing really badly and getting frustrated, and my roommate was kicking everyone's asses. My friend that's losing gets so flustered that he blurts out, "Nathan," with my last dying breath, "I'm going to frick you." It was awkward, then everyone died laughing. Not really an insult, but my old roommate is a bit of a gun nut, so he had 2 handguns out and told me to hold them. I was trying to channel some Superbad by saying it felt like I had 2 dongs. What ended up coming out of my mouth was "feels like I'm holding 2 dongs." He still doesn't let me forget I said that. To be fair, that's probably what it feels like to be holding 2 dongs. 2 great ones from the same friend. 1. While trying to sing Chef's song from South Park, he belted out, "Put M in my mouth and suck M." 2. While trying to drunkenly seduce his GF before we all left the bar, he said, "Why don't you give my mouth a dong hug?" Sounds like a charmer. My brother messed up the typical childhood phrase, "I know you're stupid, but what am I?" and told me, "I know my brain's gone, but where is yours?" That was 15 years ago and I still ask him if he has found his brain. In junior high, someone was harassing me, and I mixed up "get out of here" with "leave me alone." The result was "get out of me" was not effective. You and my mom, in my pants. Right now we never quite figured out where he was going with that, but alcohol was involved and now it is an inside joke. One of my friends mentioned that his own pit stench was making him sick, so he went to put on deodorant, came back downstairs and said, "Now I only smell like onions." Why don't you just help me with these boxes? Why don't you help me suck it? Wait, that backfired. And it also makes it seem like I need help sucking it, and I don't. I can suck my own stuff. Look, when I'm on, it's dangerous. Shake. In high school, we played several matches against an all-guys school that was consistently one of the best teams in the state. We routinely got our asses whooped, but at least we were a co-ed school. We always operated under the juvenile assumption that they were all homosexuals because they went to school with just a bunch of dudes. Last hole of the match. Last groups coming in, bunch of us just standing around. Dude from all guys school is giving his Gatorade bottle a rim job when one of his teammates, just joking around, hits one of his golf balls into the woods. He stops to yell at his teammate, "Go get that or I'm going to frick you in the butt." We just kind of looked around like, it is true. Instead of rain, a friend of mine said he needed to go put some bead off on his windshield because he couldn't remember the correct name, then realized what it really sounded like he just said. Then he beat off on the window. We were on Ventrilo, you know, being nerds, and our one friend accidentally coughed on the mic. Someone responded with something along the lines of, "What are you choking on, some chocolate there? LOL, fat jokes." And the guy that was coughing immediately responded with, "No, I'm choking on your mom's dong." We all had a good laugh from that one. In grade school, my gym teacher got really angry at my class because we wouldn't stop messing around. He blew his whistle, walked right up to us and yelled, "Sit down and stand up." I wanted to admonish my brother for doing something stupid. I must not have been able to decide whether I wanted to call him a dimwit or a numbskull, so my mind amalgamated them, and I ended up calling him a nimwil. Boy, was I taken down a notch that day. I'm totally using this. Hey, I'll tell you what, you can get a good look at a butcher's butt by sticking your head up there, but wouldn't you rather to take his word for it? No, I mean you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a butcher's butt. No, wait, it's gotta be your bull. Brothers don't shake hands. When I was in high school, my friends and I were making some pretty normal "your mom" jokes after finding a picture of one friend's mom from when she was in her 20s. The friend became a little upset, all of a sudden responded, "Oh, yeah, well I pee in your mom." From that day forward, we all has a much stranger sense of humor. Not an insult, but the other night in bed, pillow talk, trying to get my girl in the mood. She reminded me, "Weren't you going to go play on the PC?" So I said something like, "I'm so in the mood for video games that I can easily postpone any hot steamy intimacy," only realizing I got my intentions backwards. I think the line, even if executed properly, would have fell flat. My friends were messing around and pretending to fight, and one says, "My face is gonna hit your fist so fast you won't know what happened." He isn't too smart. One night me and friends were playing Taboo. It's a game where you have a card with a word that you have to get your teammates to guess, but you cannot use any of the taboo words that are also listed on the card, so you are forced to come up with creative ways for people to guess certain words, as the most obvious ones will be taboo. My roommate, a guy, was having some difficulty in the game and wasn't enjoying it a whole lot. He was saying how the game was stupid and he tried to suggest other activities. But we all wanted to play or just drink really. We tried to come up with some type of drinking rule but just ultimately failed and just kept drinking what we had anyway. My friend, girl, is getting annoyed with my roommate trying to suggest other things just because he wasn't great with the game and proceeds to tell him, "Shut the heck up, or I'm gonna suck your dong." We all pause and stare for a second. I say, "Wait, what did you say?" and all laughed for about the next 10 minutes as her insult just totally was reversed on her. Oddly enough, I found out later my roommate had a crush on my friend for a long time and ended up dating her for about a year. Not so much an insult, but my dad always says "worst case Ontario," quoting something I have no idea, but he was on the phone making a sale, and during the conversation he said, "Worst case Ontario, we don't get it to you tomorrow." He realized what he did immediately and the other guy was just baffled. Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, your dad quotes funny things. I frequently and inadvertently combine two phrases a lot and get one really messed up one. Though a particular favorite was "shove that up your butt and smoke it," a combo of "shove it up your butt" and "put that in your pipe and smoke it." I routinely use "you can take that to the bank and smoke it." When my twin brother and I were about 10, we were playing tennis at the local park. Two older guys came up and threw us off the court so they could play. As we were walking away, my brother was getting angrier and began to yell at them, "You probably frick a girl every night." They laughed, which only pissed my brother off more. "You probably frick a girl every night all night." They laughed even louder and yelled back, "Thank you." I tried to explain to him that he was not insulting them, he was complimenting them. He didn't believe me and kept yelling the same thing. Those dudes were laughing their asses off. Not quite the same, but my wife tends to mess up certain phrases. One day I asked her opinion and she said 6.5 dozen. Of the other I asked if she had any idea what she was saying. LOL. My mom does the same. The standout was hindsight is always 50/50. We were teasing my friend and he meant to say rub it in, why don't you? He actually said stick it in. He is a gay man. We haven't let him forget that one. Anytime anyone says anything insulting, stick it in. The joke I may be drunk, but you're ugly, and I'll be sober in the morning is a little hard to get out correctly when you're completely crap-faced. Came out as I'm drunk but I'm ugly, followed by the awkward silence and slow realization of what was actually said. I'll never live it down. Just had a co-worker tell me, we'll see who's gay after I suck your dong. Similar to ups, but dang, it freaking made me laugh. One time, a kid on the bus tried to give me the finger, except he put up his pointer and not his middle finger. It was pretty funny. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.